Yo, great day people. Today we're going to address the number one question that I get all the time when it comes to people wanting to keep more of their wholesale deals that they come by is how do you finance an ugly house? Okay, so today we're going to get into that. I'm going to give you 7 different strategies of how you can finance your next real estate investment deal. Okay, and then at the end of it, if you stay until the end, I'm going to show you how to have none of your own money at the end of it. Okay, so let's get right into it. What's up? It's your boy Sawan Belcher. Today we're actually sitting in one of my newest acquisitions. Well, I bought those back in February, I believe, and we just did the renovation. I got all the furniture in here because this is one of my newest short-term rentals, or work B&B, where I literally have 1 bedroom, 1 bath houses where I get furnished, and I'm looking for people who come into town for work. I set up a little workstation, I get them high-speed internet, a little TV, and they can chill here while they're in town for work versus going to a hotel or somewhere else. And I make ridiculous money doing that, okay? And so today I want to address the fact, because before this house looked this good, it definitely had a lot of issues, but I was able to get it financed where I could get paid, where I could walk away from closing with a check versus me bringing money. I walked away with a check, and now I'm able to keep it long term so I can continue making checks. Okay, so look, we're gonna go to a little B-roll at this point so you can see what it looks like, and we'll get straight into it. So first of all, what makes a house financeable on the traditional side of things? Typically what banks are looking for is your credit worthiness, how well you have paid people back before, okay? They're also looking at the condition of the property, because if they're lending you on an asset, they want to make sure that their money is tied up into something good. They don't want it to be broken down or battered and bruised, okay? And then they're also looking at values. When you're working with banks, they want creditworthiness, they want a good condition house, and then they want the house to have some good value. Okay, like I'm saying that because typically when you find an ugly house with fire damage, or when the seller has been abusing it, hasn't paid the taxes, or has a tenant that's been beating the walls in, and you and your credit looks ugly, you're missing all of those key factors. So most people are wondering, well, how do I get this money to buy these ugly ones, right? Because not a lot of people are buying those. On another note, I think it's important that you learn how to do this, because when someone buys an ugly house and they fix it up, essentially they're extracting value, they're adding value. So unlike most people who are using traditional banks to buy, they're gonna end up buying a $200,000 house for $200,000. Well, more like in this market, they're really buying that $200,000 house for $210,000. Me, I'm buying the $200,000 house for $70,000, putting $50,000 into it, okay, and then I end up with $60,000 equity. That's exactly why you need to learn how to do this, because instead of you bringing money to the table, bringing tax returns, all right, you can add value to something and get paid to do that, right? So then it's more of a changing thing for you rather than an investment thing for you. Hope that makes sense. Number 1, okay, if you guys still want to go that bank route, I totally understand. There's a bank loan just for you, and it's called the Bank Loan 203K loan, okay? Essentially, this loan is meant for, it's an FHA program, so it's meant for the person who has 2 years tax return on their job. It's meant for the person who has a decent credit score. I want to say is a 620 or above. You guys correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, okay? And then it's also meant for the person who is financially savvy, so they have at least 5 to 6 months reserves in their account, okay? And what the banks will allow you to do is they will do an appraisal, right? Most of the time, appraisal is based off of what the house is worth right now. They will get 2 appraisals, one of what it's worth right now and one what it will be worth later, okay? And then they'll have you bring in a licensed contractor, and he'll write up a scope of work okay, of how much it would take to fix this house up and get it ready, okay? And so they would essentially write you a check for the purchase and then also pay out your contractors on drawers. Now with this 203K loan, I will say you're not gonna have everybody do this kind of loan for you. You're gonna need a special type of loan broker. You're gonna need a great mortgage broker who is creative. Okay, now I'm gonna leave a link below, okay, to my mortgage brokerage that we can help you out with this. Okay, but you need someone who's done this before, okay, because this is not for everyone. And then you're also gonna need, like I said, licensed general contractors to help you get through this. But this is a great way to use low interest money. This is an FHA loan, so you get to use low interest money, flexible buying terms, you know, as long as you have those 2 years bank statements and a decent credit score. Now, next, you can just use cash. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, cash still really is king, okay? And you'd be surprised how many people have cash. Now, you know, if the house does have a hole in the roof, it's not really gonna be financeable. It's okay. Most of the time when you have a house, right, in, because we're finding off-market property and the house is in physical distress, most of the time those properties are not financeable by bank standards because they're not habitable. You know, so that means they have some kind of code violations where the electrical doesn't meet, there's a hole in the roof. That kind of stuff is not going to pass, especially if a house doesn't have heat, right? That's not gonna pass and banks won't allow it. So you can end up using cash that you have, right, and buying the house with that cash, fixing it up a little bit, and then you can turn around and sell the property for a profit, or we'll share how you can keep the property and get your money out at the end of the video. Now, next is one of my favorites, okay? A lot of people, once we graduate from college, we're taught to go out and get a job that has great benefits. One of the big benefits that everybody's looking for is a one-to-one retirement account. Okay, so that means that out of every check you automatically pay or put towards your 401k or IRA plan, and your company will match it. So since that is one of your biggest benefits of being in a 9-to-5 job, I know most people say, hey, let's not use it, let's just go the Dave Ramsey way and let's keep it there for 40 years and we'll be a millionaire in 40 years. But what if we could use that money, okay? What if we can use that money right now at no penalty, buy an asset, and then have that asset pay us back tax-free? You can do that with your 401k, okay? Now here's the way. Now with the 401k, essentially whoever operates your 401k, whoever the host is, Fidelity, Vanguard, they choose where to invest the money that you put into that account, okay? But you can move that money with no penalty over to a self-directed IRA, and you can choose where you invest that money to make money. Now, the biggest caveat to keep that money tax-free is you need whatever you invest in to pay that money back inside of that account, okay? So you can essentially use all of your retirement money or some of it to create a income generating business, AKA rental real estate. All right. So next we can go this way is it's like asset lending. You don't necessarily need to have the best credit. You don't necessarily have to, have this big savings boat. These people will give you a loan, okay, as long as the deal is good, okay? And this is hard money. There's several hard money companies that will simply lend you money because you found a $200,000 house for $50,000 and it needs $50,000 worth of work, which means you have $100,000 of equity. They will lend you money. They see that as an opportunity, not as a risk. Now, I will say the downfall to this is you're gonna have to come up with a down payment because they do want you to have some skin in the game most of the time. Secondly, the interest rate is gonna be high. That's how they benefit. They're gonna give you a 14% interest rate, maybe 16, with maybe 2 points originations, with maybe 3 points on the back. But the good news about working with hard money lenders is they do so much vetting on the deal by the time they land on the deal has to be extremely good to where you're almost guaranteed to win so that they can win. Okay, so use hard money. Now, my favorite way is private money. The big difference between hard and private is simply a hard money is a company that went out and raised money from people and put it into one account so they could lend on their behalf. Private means that I go directly to the source where the person who has the money, I get the money directly from them and we come up with some terms and I work directly with them. Okay. Now, this is extremely beneficial because number one, I'm negotiating off a relationship. I am not having to get an appraisal. Okay. I am moving way faster than hard money lenders. And it's almost like the cash is mine. Okay. So private money is literally everywhere. Okay. I actually have a live training dedicated to how to find people who have money, where they have the money, and show them and teach them how to extract that money without any penalties and how they can give it to you so you can pay them 14% interest and make them a fortune while you make a fortune. Okay. That's a awesome way to buy ugly houses. Okay. And the last way to buy ugly houses is based off of your negotiations. Okay. Since we do off-market marketing, going direct to seller, instead of just giving them cash offers, start offering them terms. Okay. Start asking them, will they take their payments over time? Okay. And if you have enough sauce, you'll help them understand between origination points, between interest rates, between balloons, between all of their responsibilities that they will be getting rid of, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, hazardous conditions, and all that other stuff, city code violations and stuff like that, they end up winning most of the time. They end up winning just as good, if not better, on a seller financing term when they become the lender instead of being the borrower. Okay, and typically I tell people you get to do what God told us in the Bible. One of the secrets God told us in the Bible was become the lender. That the borrower is slave to the lender, so we give them that opportunity. Okay, so here's 6 ways of how you can buy an ugly house. Okay, if you've done any of these, tell us your story down in the comments below. If you want to learn more about these, I have a full how to find ugly houses course, and then also we have the private money course. We can show you how to find money to take those down so you can own property just like this, make cash flow just like I do every single day of the month. Okay, you guys have an amazing day. See you on the next one. Peace.